The challenging part about infants is freaking out if they don't hit a milestone when a book says they should hit a milestone. You start to worry about your child, but really they're just probably 3 or 4 days late and you've been panicking for nothing.
Having a baby on the hip constantly, and sometimes a toddler at my feet as well, but baby, toddler, and just trying to get through things and not stress myself out about the fact that the house is a mess, because it always was. But then it's like, what are you going to, sitting around with your baby for a little bit or doing the vacuuming? There's no competition. That's sitting around with the baby. That's the winner there, by the way.
Being flexible, but also having the routine, which I think I struggled with, and I went back to work. So you've got to have your routine to allow them to get the sleep and the feeding and all that kind of thing, as well as being flexible to say, actually, I can do that with you today.
Sleep loss and tiredness because you're trying to do everything for them and keep them calm and happy.
It's still exhausting for mum. Megan was expressing at that stage and I thought that might help, but that's kind of exhausting. It's like after she fed, she then had to feed the machine to express, so she was almost doubly tired for that. So yeah, you've got to still be very careful and look after mum, make sure she's getting enough sleep.
He wasn't sleeping right through the night until he was at least 4 or 5 months old. So you're still kind of running on quite a low tank. But what we found really worked was actually having to get him into a routine. I think routine is really important and does work. It's a bit painful in the beginning, but it pays off.
The biggest challenge for me as a mum is the fear of judgment from other mums. Harley is a very fussy eater, and I tried to be that wonderful mum that cooks everything, and I brought all the containers and I freeze it, and oh, it's wonderful, and I take it out the day before and she's going to have her courgette and potato and chicken, oh lovely, make it all. I brought a crock pot. I never had a crock pot before. You could accuse me of not being a good mum just for that alone.
The food thing, when do you introduce solids? And I remember waiting for that very day where they turn, I think it was like, make sure you breastfeed solely until they're 6 months old.
My kids didn't want a bar of it at 6 months, so I waited till 7 months, and they just sort of looked at the spoon and went, yeah, just a little taste, and then it took a long time for them to actually want to eat, and they're still fussy eaters.